5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. So last couple of weeks I've been kind of limping.
Yes,
I don't know what it is. I must have hurt my leg or something. You know, I was when I was a kid, I was told I had flat feet, and so we did this conference up in Chattanooga, and I was standing for hours. So I'm wondering if I did something when I was just simply standing.
Oh, okay.
Right? So let's find out if I can get some free advice from Dr. Michael A. Marks. He's on the phone. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He's a healthcare consultant. He's the 2015 Connecticut Orthopedist of the Year. He's a member of the AAOS Patient Safety Committee. I don't know what that is, but he maybe will tell us. He's going to talk to us about fighting for your mobility, how patients can be better prepared for and optimize outcomes from orthopedic surgery. Good morning, Dr. Marks. How are you?
I'm good, Larry. Sorry to hear about your flat feet.
I don't know. Well, you know, I've had them all my life, but I don't usually stand for as long as I did a few weeks ago. Maybe I damaged something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
So I am calling from Connecticut, where I live and work, and I'm spending some time today talking to people about orthopedics and really orthopedic surgery. A lot of people don't really know what it entails. We are really the primary care physicians of your bones, joints, and muscles. So we're there to keep you mobile. We're there to keep, as one of our websites says, a nation in motion. We want to keep people moving and make sure that they maintain the quality of life that they so richly deserve.
So when I think of orthopedics, how wrong am I? I always thought of it as legs and feet. Are you saying it's the muscles and joints even in your arms and maybe even your neck?
Even in your neck. So we really cover everything from your neck all the way down to your big toe. Everything, your bones, joints, the spine, your elbow, your wrist, your knees, your hips. You know, that old song about, you know, the knee bones connected to the thigh bone. Right. Well, that applies to us. That's what we do.
Sometimes people will put off some kind of joint surgery. They'll get shots in their knees or shots in their hips, and then they'll say, ooh, that's the last resort. But is that going by the wayside now, and surgery is taking over center stage?
Well, I wouldn't say surgery is taking center stage. I mean, surgery should be a last resort, but it shouldn't be a resort where you kind of feel, God, I'm on my deathbed. I have no other choice. I should do this. It's really making sure that you have a good discussion, and this is where the Patient Safety Committee aspect of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons comes in, because we want to educate our physicians, but also the public, of what the expectation should be, and we want it to be as safe as possible. So we want you to be able to go out there and see your doctor, have yourself evaluated for your problem, have it appropriately diagnosed, and then come up with a game plan of what's best for you. And for some people, it may be with the first visit to the doctor, they're at end stage, they can't do much of anything, it's surgery. It may be somebody else, you go see them, and the doctor says, look, it's going to be at least 10 to 15 years before you need a joint replacement. Let's try these other things first, and let's try and keep you as active as possible.
What do you do when you have two? You go for the second opinion, and the second doctor is exactly the two opposites that you just described. How do you know which is the right way to go?
Well, a lot of it really depends upon, you need to ask them, well, doctor, why are you saying this? And part of it is, and this to some extent is really the beauty of orthopedics, is since we're dealing with quality of life, it's what do you as the patient really want? And have you exhausted all non-operative treatments? If I have somebody who comes to me who needs their appendix removed, you're probably going to find most people say, look, you're probably going to die without it. The only thing that dies in dealing with orthopedics, with the vast majority of the things we deal with, is the quality of your life. So maybe that you went to a doctor and he looked at you and said, well, this person doesn't seem that bad off. They don't need to have the replacement done. So it really depends upon the picture that you're painting for the doctor, and it's where you should be asking the questions and say, because we all expect patients to be getting second opinions, well, why are you telling me I shouldn't have surgery and somebody else did? Have them explain to you what his thought process is.
Is the replacement always a prosthetic?
So it is a prosthetic device. There are lots of different materials out there. It's metal and plastic. It's metal and ceramic. It's ceramic on ceramic. And ceramics, people think of the pottery that you have in your house.
Right.
This is not that same type of ceramic. Ceramic is actually an oxidized metal. And so it makes it very, very hard. It is a little bit brittle, which is why we think of ceramics. You know, you don't want to drop it, but you're not going to be having your hip or your knee shatter because it's ceramic. The thought is that ceramics last longer, so therefore they tend to be used in younger individuals because we do sort of age match prosthetic devices with the demand and the load on the body.
What happens if you have to do something like that to a young person whose body is still growing?
Well, it's almost unheard of to do joint replacements in individuals who are still growing. The only case where it would even come close to being is with somebody with very advanced juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is a very, very rare condition, and anybody who does have that, I would suspect or recommend that they are seen at a children's hospital with an orthopedic department that really specializes in those conditions. But for the vast majority of individuals, there are orthopedic surgeons in your community who are very capable, very well trained to address your orthopedic problems. We've done a great job of training and teaching orthopedic surgeons so that you can have these things done locally. You don't have to travel 2 and 3 hours to an academic university center. Now, if you have something very unusual, then the academic center is probably where you do want to be.
So did you have a lot? My notes said something about you had a lot of experiences as a young person. Were you very athletic and you damaged your own body? And is that how you got interested in orthopedics?
And that's how I got interested in orthopedics. And in fact, there's the website, anationinmotion.org, which is all one word, anationinmotion.org, is a website where the orthopedic surgeons have put down their stories of how they got involved. And then there are also patient stories of how they've recovered from their injuries. But that's how I got involved and interested in orthopedics. I spent more time in the orthopedist office than the pediatrician, breaking bones, playing basketball, injuring myself, playing tennis, playing softball, playing basketball. And I was really amazed at how easily in quotes, it was for him to put me back together again. But nowadays, orthopedics, it's not just the orthopedist by himself. He's got a whole team of people behind him in his office and a team of people wherever the surgery is going to be done. And I promote my patients making sure that they've got their team prepared for it. Who's going to be your support staff for while you're in the hospital? Who's going to help get you prepared? Who's going to help you when you get home after surgery to make sure that you're having the things done, to basically be your coach to help you through the process? Because probably the greatest dissatisfaction from patients are when the outcome from the surgery doesn't meet their expectations. And in most cases, it's not necessarily because the surgeon did a bad job, it's because the patient didn't fully understand how hard the rehab was going to be after the surgery, and so that they don't work as hard as they really should.
So the rehab is really how you get through it. I mean, once the surgery is done, does it help to alleviate the pain quicker, the rehab?
Well, it will increase your function. Almost invariably, a patient with a badly arthritic hip will wake up from surgery and they go, I don't have that pain anymore. It's a different type of pain. You've got surgical incision pain, but the grinding, gnawing pain that feels like somebody's taking an ice pick and sticking it through the side of your head, that pain is gone.
And that's good.
Pretty vivid, huh?
and I think we could probably relate to that pretty well. Doctor, I know it's a very short interview today. Give us the website again and any other websites we should go to.
Okay, so the two websites to go take a look at, one is orthoinfo, orthoinfo.org. That's by the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. It's the website where you can put in your diagnosis and find information about your condition, give you a list of questions and answers that you may want. And then the other one is anationinmotion.org. InMotion.org, which is the site where you can hear surgeon stories. You may see one about your own doctor, but more importantly, stories by patients who've had hip replacements, knee replacements, scoliosis surgery, ACL surgery, so that you can hear somebody else's story. But keep in mind that that particular story from that person is their story. Every person has their own story, just like that television show from the 60s and 70s. You know, in New York City, there are 9 million stories, and tonight we're going to tell one of them.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's a great illustration of the reality of it all. Dr. Michael Marks, thank you for being up early to be on the air with us today, and come back anytime.
Okay, thanks, Robin. Thanks, Larry. Have a great day.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Clouds and a few intervals of sun today with a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm in spots, the high 80 to 84. It'll be mostly cloudy tonight with a passing shower or two, but mainly dry along the coast.